Mikel Arteta's decision to exile Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang from Arsenal marked one of the most ruthless acts of his managerial reign. Despite Aubameyang's goal-scoring exploits, including winning the FA Cup, he was eventually terminated from his contract and joined Barcelona. Now, in his latest sit-down with Colin interview, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has given his full version of what actually happened behind the scenes and how it all played out for him after he left the North London club. It was during the COVID period and we were playing, I think, Everton. My season wasn't great. We were struggling in the league, and the day before the coach told us, "Look, it doesn't matter if we win or not, you have a day off. But if you want to leave, you notify yourself before the match because you have to follow the health safety rules." My mother a few months before had a stroke. It was going to be Christmas time, so I went to see the coach and I said to him, "Coach, I'm coming to see you because I'd like to leave. I'm going to go pick up my mother to bring her back for the holidays." He tells me no problem. He knows very well what happened. The day it happened, he had barely given me permission to go to see her. So he gives me authorization and tells me to check with the doc about the return in relation to COVID. I'm going home to Laval. Normally, I was supposed to leave on the free day and return in the evening rather than the morning of training. My mother had exams to do. I couldn't leave in the evening, so I left the next morning on training day. Once I got there, I had to take my test, but in fact, I should have done it the day before since I was coming from another country. I arrive, the coach finishes his meeting, and then he grabs me and he completely tears into me. He shouts at me like I'm crazy. He says, "You put a knife in my back. You can't do that to me given the times we're going through." At that moment, I tell myself that I'm not going to answer him because it's going to end angrily. I didn't go partying, he knows very well the reason for my departure, so at that moment, I don't understand why he's lecturing me like this. I go home and the doctor calls me and says, "Tomorrow, the coach doesn't want you to be there." I said okay. I knew the next match was coming and I said to myself, "Damn, once again, everyone is going to talk about it. It's going to be a mess. What is this crazy thing?" I couldn't understand it. The days pass and the doctor tells me, "Look, he doesn't want you to be with the group anymore, but you will be able to come and train but separately." I say to myself, okay. And then afterwards, he calls me and we have a meeting so he can explain to me that 1, he's taking away the captain's armband, and 2, I'm not training anymore with the group. Once again, he explains why he is against me during this period when it was complicated for the club. That I have to be an example and that I couldn't do that. At that moment, I said, "I admit that I have my share of responsibility, but the real cause I think you can understand if you are a little bit human. You can understand my move." After that, it was over. I stayed for a month training on my own while waiting for the break. I'm sure I was depressed. There are attitudes that are seriously different from your daily life. For example, I started drinking a lot. It was a difficult passage. It started a little before I was fired from Arsenal. So yes, it was depression. I think that personally it was related to the state of health of my parents. It affects a man. It was difficult. How to get out. Often we say that we have to talk about it. There's no shame in that. So Gunners, after now hearing Aubameyang's side of the story, what are your thoughts on that whole situation and how it all played out in the end? Write down in the comments.